call our September 9th regular meeting and final budget hearing to order. Would you please stand with me, and we will go through our Pledge of Allegiance and the Kids at Hope Treasure Hunters Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. As an adult and treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the talent, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children and youth. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions. You may be seated, and welcome to our board meeting this evening. Thank you for coming out. Those of you that are listening, thank you for tuning in to keep up with our school business. We appreciate it. Okay, we're now going to open up our public hearing on the proposed adoption of final millage rates and final budget for 2025-26. But before we go any further, we want to invite the public to speak to the board. After Michelle comes up, our Chief Financial Officer, Michelle Thomas, you will do your presentation, and directly after it will be open for anyone that may want to have any comments at all regarding the budget. Michelle?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, school board members, and Superintendent Dr. Prince. This is the final budget hearing. The tentative budget hearing was held on July 29th, 2025. The information regarding millage rates is exactly identical to what was presented on July 29th, with a slight change in budget, so we will go through this fairly quickly while I still cover the required elements. At the end of the presentation, the board will vote to approve the final millage rates. After the final millage rates are approved, the board will vote to approve the final budget and resolutions, all three resolutions at one time. This shows the taxable value, millage, and tax collection estimates at 100% and 96%. We budget at 96%, and last year we collected 96%. As a reminder, the board must levy the 3.048 required local effort and the one voted operating millage. The 0.748 discretionary millage and the 1.5 capital operating are maximums. The only action the board could take would be to reduce those. I do not recommend that. The total millage is 6.296. The board does not have the authority to increase the millages as they are set by the legislature and our maximum millage for the 25-26 school year. This shows a history of the millage rates going back to fiscal year 2008-2009. During this time, our highest millage rate was fiscal year 2010-11 at 8.1770. And this shows the break between the operating, capital, and voted millages and where the legislature demanded a shift. You'll see that capital outlay shifted from 2 mills in 7-8 to 1.5 mills in 9-10. Since fiscal year 9-10, the district has, since fiscal year 19-20, the district has levied an additional 1 mill as a voted operating. And this shows the average impact to the annual taxes of homeowners in the county. We get this information from the property appraiser's office each year. There is an increase in the non-voted millage by 0.91%, and an increase in the average taxable value in the county by approximately 7.47%. Therefore, the average homeowner would experience an increase in annual taxes by approximately $98.75. This shows the taxable value history. The entire county's gross taxable value makes up the taxes that you will see on the next slide. And this shows the gross tax collection history and excludes the voted 1 mill. I will show the impact of the 1 mil on the next slide. Here you can see the impact that the additional voted 1 mil will have on our collections for 25-26, with $48 million of additional revenue. This will be the 7th year recognizing revenue from the 1 mil, as it was renewed in November 2022 for an additional 4 years as by law. The additional revenue generated from this 1 mil is used to recruit and retain qualified teachers, improve school security, improve mental health services, and fund other essential operations that preserve important school programs. As required by law, the 1 mil is proportionately shared with charter schools. The rollback rate discussion is something that we are required to talk about, and this slide here shows information about the rollback rate. This is a table that helps to explain it. In 24-25, the taxable value was $46.4 billion. The millage rate was 6.2480. That millage rate generated $290.4 million. The rollback rate is a calculated rate that will generate the same exact revenue using this year's net taxable value. The calculated rollback rate is 5.9374. So 5.9374 times the current taxable value of $48.9 billion generates $290.4 million. Since we have a proposed rate of 6.2960, which exceeds 5.9374, we have to compare those two millage rates and to make a public statement that the proposed rate is 6.04% greater than the rollback rate. Here is the summary of the budget. This includes beginning reserves, revenues, appropriations, and ending reserves, for a grand total of $1,135,616,094. Sorry about that. Had my notes wrong. Dr. Prince.
Would anyone at this time want to address the board prior to our voting regarding the budget, the proposed millages, budget, and other resolutions? Is there anyone out there that would like to make any comments or in regards to this? And this would be the time if you're interested in making a comment regarding the budget. Would you please introduce yourself before you comment?
It's Joe Lowry, live at 152 Southeast Via Torso in Port St. Lucie. We've been in the community 44 years, probably going on 45. Good evening, and thank you for letting us speak. One thing I'd like to say to the board and all the county commissioners and all that, the time at 5 o'clock needs to change. The average person that works cannot be here at 5 o'clock, I assure you. If they want to speak, they're probably having to work because they need the money. But getting back to the budget, one of the things, I don't have a problem with raising the rates for school teachers and the principals. I think it's very important that we pay them a great salary so they don't have to, maybe share an apartment or share a home. I think it's almost embarrassing what they make, number one. Two, I think the millage rate is out of sight. I think, and I've spoke at the fire department, I've spoke at the county commission, and also the city. I think that some of you folks or all of you folks need to be all together with the county, the city, the fire department board, and you need to figure out how to lower some of these millage rates. People are having to leave their homes because they cannot afford to live here anymore. Now, you talk about $98 per home. If you really assessed and gave me a good number on the average home, I'm not sure where you came up with $98 a home, but the homes out here are not $250,000 anymore. They're upwards of $450,000 or $500,000 or $600,000. I think that also you need to look at what commercial people are paying. I have commercial property, and you'll be absolutely blown out of the water what I pay for the warehouses that I own in the city, and I've owned them since 1989, is absolutely crazy. I don't have a problem, again, giving the money to the employees. I think right on down from the folks that are in the food end of it, and also the folks that are teaching our kids. I think we should be the top of the top. And again, I think it's very important that all of you get together and figure out how we can lower the millage rate. You know, we could sit here and say, how many take-home cars do we have? Okay, so if there's take-home cars, let's say 20, and there's 50 out of the fire department, and there's 50 out of the city, and there's 50 out of the county, I don't know, but I'd sure like to find out. We've got to stop raising these rates. People are leaving in the groves, and, you know, retired people cannot afford. You know, you say $98, that's fine. And then you add the water, which is only maybe $8 or $10, and then you add $20 or $50 for the waste department. All those numbers add up. People cannot make it if they're on fixed income. Thank you very much for your time.
And thank you, Mr. Lowry, for your comments as well. Okay, is there any more public comments regarding the budget? Okay, seeing none, Superintendent, may we have your first recommendation to approve the final required local effort millage of 3.0480 mils as specified in the resolution?
I recommend the board approve the final required local effort millage of 3.0480 mils as specified in the resolution 2025-26 Trim A.
Board members, Superintendent has made a recommendation that we approve this action item. May I have a motion and a second? So moved, Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second, Ms. Hawley. Board members, are there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion carries 5-0. Next, we have the adoption of the final district school tax discretionary operating millage for 2025-26. Superintendent, may we have your recommendation?
I recommend the board approve the final district school tax discretionary operating millage of 0.7480 mils as specified in the resolution 2025-26 Trim A.
Board members, the superintendent has recommended that we approve this action item. Would you please give me a motion and a second?
So moved.
So move, Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second, Ms. Hawley. Any discussion, board members? Seeing none, let's call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion carries 5-0. Moving right along, we have the adoption of the final district discretionary local capital improvement millage for 2025-26. Superintendent, may we have your recommendation?
I recommend the board approve the final district discretionary local capital improvement millage of 1.5 mils as specified in the resolution 2025-26 Trim A.
The superintendent board has recommended that we approve the adoption of the final district discretionary local capital improvement millage. May I have a motion and a second? So moved, Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second, Ms. Hawley. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion carries 5-0. We move right along to the adoption of the final district additional voting operating millage for 25-26 for 1.0000 mil. Superintendent, may we have your recommendation?
I recommend the board approve the final district additional voted millage of 1.0 mil as specified in the resolution 2025-26 Trim A.
Superintendent has recommended that we do approve the final district additional vote for the operational millage. May I have a motion and a second? So moved, Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second, Ms. Hawley. Any discussion, board members? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Superintendent, may we have your recommendation for the adoption of the final budget?
I recommend the board adopt the 2025-26 final budget in the amount of $1,135,616,094.
The superintendent has recommended that we adopt the final budget for 2025-26. I will entertain a motion in a second. So moved, Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second, Ms. Hawley. Any discussion, board members? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion will carry 5-0. Superintendent, may we have your recommendation for the adoption of resolutions 2025-26, trim B and C?
I recommend the board adopt Resolution 2025-26 Trim B and Resolution 2025-26 Trim C as submitted.
Superintendent has recommended that we adopt the resolutions trim B and trim C. May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
So moved, Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second, Ms. Hawley. Board members, any discussion on this particular item? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion will carry 5-0. Okay, now we want the superintendent to recommend adoption of amendments to adopt the resolution 25-26 trim B and the resolution 25-26 trim B as submitted. Superintendent, may we have your recommendation?
We just did that.
Oh, you
Sorry.
did that one?
We did.
My apologies, yes.
All right. Okay, so we're going to open up the public hearing again. And this is to recommend the board to adopt the proposed amendments to the school board policies. The following numbers are 4120, policy 5136, and the superintendent will expand on these policies. Number 6320 and number 6325. Superintendent, what is your recommendation on the adoption of the proposed amendments to these policies?
Madam Chair, I recommend the board adopt the proposed amendments to school board policies number 4120, employment of support staff, policy number 5136, wireless communication devices, policy number 6320, purchasing and contracting for commodities and contractual services, policy 6325, procurement, federal grants, funds, and policy number 6610, school internal funds.
Okay, we're going to go back for a minute, and we're going to ask the public, is there any comments on any of these proposed adoptions, on any of these items? We open it up to anybody to speak on behalf of any of these. Okay, seeing none, we will move toward a motion in a second.
So moved.
So move, Mr.
Second.
Ingersoll. Second, Ms. Arison. Discussion board on any of the policies. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Dr. Prince, may we have your special order of business at this time?
At this time, I'd like to introduce the most amazing chief of communications in the entire state of Florida, Miss Lydia Martin.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Prince. Every September, the Cora Stickney Harper chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution celebrate the week of September 17th as Constitution Week. Linda Gallup, the chapter's regent, and Carol Ann Perseri, the chapter registrar, will read a proclamation designating the week, September 17th through the 23rd, 2025, as Constitution Week, and request that the board adopt the same. Ladies?
Whereas Constitution Week is the commemoration of America's most important document and is celebrated annually during the week of September 17th through the 23rd, and
Whereas September 17, 2025.
Can you
is-
please get closer to the mic so we can pick up
Sorry.
your voice? Thank you.
Whereas September 17, 2025 is the actual 238th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution of the United States of America. And
Whereas the Constitution ensures the rights of every American and provides the framework for the administration of our country, yet few know the date or celebrate its importance in any fashion, and
whereas the United States Constitution stands as a testament to the tendency of Americans throughout history to maintain their liabilities, freedom, and inalienable rights, and
whereas the celebration of the Constitution was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution, which petitioned Congress in 1955 to set aside September 17th to the 23rd annually to be dedicated to the observance of Constitution Week. Said resolution began later adopted by the U.S. Congress and signed in public law on August 2nd, 1956 by President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
now therefore be it resolved that the School Board of the St. Lucie County does hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd of 2025 as of Constitution Week.
Constitution Week.
Superintendent, may we have a recommendation, please?
Yes, and at the conclusion of my recommendation, I would invite the board to the front of the dais for pictures. And I recommend the board adopt the proclamation designation September 17th through the 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week as presented.
So moved.
Okay, so moved by Ms. Anderson and second by Mr. Ingersoll. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We're going to come down to take photos with you, okay? Come on.
All right, thank you. At this time, I would like to provide a special recognition of one of our exceptional students, Aniele Roque Pereira from Fort Pierce Central, recently ranked 6th in the nationally in the final round of the 2025 Incubate Debate National Championship held earlier this summer in Sarasota. We are so proud to have Aniele represent St. Lucie Public Schools in this national competition. Ranking 6th in the nation is quite an accomplishment. Congratulations, Aniele, and please come forward. And I know she has her parents here. If you'd like to come forward also to be part of the photo, we'd love for you to join her. Okay, congratulations. And that concludes our special orders of business for this evening.
Is Mr. David Freeman here for our EASL report, or someone to represent? Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Always enjoy your presentations.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Mills, school board members, and Superintendent Dr. Prince. I am Laura Levitt-Estima. I am an education support professional. It is indeed my honor to stand to represent our union, the Education Association of St. Lucie, President David Freeland, our executive team, and all the members and potential members of my unit, the clerical support staff, where I serve as vice president, CTA, our Certified Teachers Association, and ProTech, the professional technical staff. As I always say, it is always a beautiful day here in St. Lucie Public Schools, serving our staff, students, and community, especially now that we are an A-rated district. That was some hard work, and I'm glad to be a part of that framework. It was a long time coming, but we made it. I see that this is one of the best and safest places to work is right here in St. Lucie County. My why is because I love what I do. Service is my calling, and delivering the best work possible for public education is my purpose, especially when students choose to further their education. Hopefully, many will return and serve in these capacities as we have chosen. And always hail to my proud alma mater, Fort Pierce Westwood High School, now the Academy, the West Prep Magnet. Please extend my gratitude to Mr. Alfonso and just let him know I love what you're doing in this place. And we needed that touch from him, and I'm so happy to see that greater is coming for Fort Pierce Westwood. Tonight I stand to speak on behalf of the clerical and support staff who keeps this district running every day. These are the people in the front office clerks, health aides, clerical staff who welcome families, process hundreds of requests from registration to requests, and keeping the school organized. They are the professionals who work shoulder to shoulder with most vulnerable students, making sure no child is left behind. They are our bus aides, the lowest paid employees in the district, responsible for the safety of students on the way to and from our schools. Without them, schools do not function. Yet once again, when the state sent money this year, it came only for the classroom teachers. Not all teachers. Support staffs were left out of that equation. We do not blame this district for the decisions made in Tallahassee. However, we do call on this district to recognize the unfairness of that funding structure. When the state celebrates record funding for education, the reality is that much of it is being funneled into vouchers and programs outside of our schools. With little reaches, it is earmarked narrowly for certain teachers, leaving clerical staff, professionals, and bus aides out. This creates an inequity problem. We have employees working full-time in demanding jobs whose paychecks do not stretch far enough, especially when health and costs are rising. For someone making $15 an hour, a premium increase is not a small inconvenience. It is the difference between paying the light bill or not. I'm gonna pay the light bill. That brings me to my next issue of concern. Health insurance costs are going up, and while everyone feels it, our lowest paid employees feels it the most. For some, the cost of insuring a family through district is more than their take-home pay. Some don't take home anything, they get a negative. We cannot build a strong workforce when employees are forced to choose between health care and groceries. I think I'm gonna choose groceries because I like good food, I'm just saying. Affordable coverage has to be priority for all employees, not those singled out by legislatures. I want to be clear, this is not a bargaining speech. We all know that negotiations happen at the table. What I am asking for tonight is simply this. Number one, acknowledge that the state's funding structure is unfair and flawed. Number two, Remember that clerical and support staff are essential to student success, even if Tallahassee refuses to fund us. Number 3, commit to keeping affordable insurance within reach for everyone, especially those on the lowest rungs of the pay scale. The truth is, our schools only achieve success because of teamwork. We can all agree on that, right? Teachers cannot teach if bus aides do not deliver students safely, if the clerical staff do not keep schedules and records straight, and if paraprofessionals are not providing one-on-one support. Every employee in this district contributes to student success. When one group is left behind, the whole system suffers. So tonight, I ask you to see our support staff not as a line item on the budget, but as people, as neighbors, as parents, as the steady, often unseen hands that this district has together. Equity in compensation and access to affordable insurance aren't luxuries. They are the basics of respect. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And I'm proud to represent the people in this district. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mrs. Stima. We appreciate all the time when you come in and speak to us, and we appreciate you standing in for David as well. And yes, we do acknowledge that our state funding is inadequate. Okay, at this time, we're going to ask Martha Vickers or her representative here. Okay, come on and introduce yourself to us and to the audience, please.
Hello.
And this is our CWA report.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent, board members, everyone in the audience. My name is Melissa Kozlowski, and I am here tonight as a parent of a child in the St. Lucie Public School System, an employee of St. Lucie Public Schools, and someone who deeply cares about the families and staff who make this district function. District-wide, we are facing serious staffing issues. Families feel this every day, from children left waiting on buses and stranded at bus stops, classrooms stretched thin, cafeteria lines that are too long, and offices left shorthanded. When vacancies are not filled, the work does not disappear. It simply shifts to fewer shoulders. And those shoulders are already carrying more than they can bear. Support staff are the backbone of our schools, yet our pay is less than our neighboring counties, making it harder to retain and recruit workers. Many of us are forced to work 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. Several of our colleagues suffer from food insecurity. They live below the federal poverty line, and some are even homeless, sleeping in their cars or moving from couch to couch. That is the human cost of underpaying the people who keep our schools running. Last year, our district earned an A rating, and that is something to be celebrated for sure. But that rating reflects the hard work of every department, from teachers to bus drivers, from cafeteria staff to custodians, from our trade specialists to groundskeepers, and from paraprofessionals to clerical staff. Yet, as the teachers' union leadership has stated in the past, that A came at a cost: diminished autonomy with crushing workloads. An A rating does not erase the exhaustion and sacrifice behind it. Mr. Superintendent, you have spoken about making St. Lucie County a destination district, but that vision cannot be realized without investing in people. Right now, our infrastructure is straining, not just classrooms and buses, but the staff who keep them operating. Neighboring counties like Palm Beach, Indian River, and Okeechobee are seeing student enrollment decline, while St. Lucie continues to grow about 1,500 new students each year over the past 4 years. Yet staffing numbers have extremely minimal to no increase year over year, creating a dangerous imbalance between rising demand and shrinking capacity. And when we have come directly to you, you board members sitting on the stage today, with solutions and honest stories, we have been told to get multiple roommates or to work more hours. We were met with surprise that you had no idea these issues even existed, or have had several attempts to make contact just ignored. And of all of our board members here today, there has only been one who has followed up with genuine concern. Our students and families deserve schools that are fully staffed and functional. Our employees deserve to be treated with dignity, not as disposable labor. And our taxpaying community deserves a board of elected officials who are committed to listening and serving with care. If St. Lucie truly wants to be a destination district, then invest in us, the people who make that dream possible. Because right now, too many of us are going home after 2 or 3 jobs to empty refrigerators, to cars that double as bedrooms, and to exhaustion so deep that it breaks the spirit. We cannot keep building an A district on the backs of people living in poverty. You have the power to change this. Please choose to stand with us and show compassion. Please choose to stand with dignity, with respect, and with humanity, because workers' rights are human rights.
Thank you so much, Ms. Melissa. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate it, and for your voice of CWA. Okay, adoption of the consent agenda at this time. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
So moved, Mr. Ingersoll. Second, Ms., I want to say Teresa Harrison. Okay, at this time, Superintendent, give us your recommendation for approval of the consent agenda.
I recommend the board approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Superintendent has recommended for approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items that we need to remove, board members, for discussion, a separate vote? Okay, seeing none, we will go forward with the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Dr. Prince, we are, let's see where we are at now here. Give me a moment. Okay, informational reports will come before each of us today. We have them in our packet. And as a reminder to our community, charter schools' financial statements are presented for the board, to the board for information only. There's no approval, no voting of a charter school's financial statement is required by law. So please just see, board members, your reports individually. Superintendent, at this time, we would like your report and staff reports on selected topics.
Okay, just a couple of things. I want to go back in time before I go forward in time. So we had a ribbon cutting Tuesday, August 26th. What a wonderful event. I want to thank Mr. Smith, the principal of Legacy High School, and everyone that escorted our group through the school. I just thought it was a very positive event. I couldn't have asked for a better opening of a school. It was incredibly organized. I want to thank our board members that were there, and also Remnant and Core Construction that are responsible for the job. We had senior leadership. We had a state board member that was there, Daniel Fogenholy, and I want to thank him for being there as well, because they've heard about the great things that are happening in St. Lucie County. He wanted to come himself to that ribbon cutting. We also had the Chamber Legislative Luncheon hosted by the Chamber and the Chamber President, who happens to be a board member. I want to thank you, Ms. Aronson, for a very informative legislative question and answer. We did have local representatives, Trabolsi and Overdorf and Senator Grahl there, and we really appreciated that opportunity. And we had a couple of our board members, although the Chamber was sponsoring it, we did have a couple of board members, Ms. Hawley and Dr. Mills, that were there as well, so thank you for attending that. I'm most excited about our big kickoff, and it's really not our big kickoff, it's Big Apple Pizza's big kickoff. Scott Van Duzer had a big kickoff. Scholastic has donated over 20,000 books for the Read to Succeed program, and we're going to be visiting every week. They do schools in, and they give away books, and it's a great opportunity. It's really interesting. Mr. Van Duzer has invested so much into reading and the joy of reading, and it's just great to see his excitement We had record improvements in reading proficiency. Last year, we ranked 8th in the state out of 67 districts in our improvement in overall reading scores for the district, and we ranked 1st in math. So we'll have to open up a math wing also at Big Apple Pizza. I'll talk to Scott about that. But also we have some upcoming events. The St. Lucie County, I'm doing a presentation for the Board of County Commissioners, and have invited our board members, invite the public to watch that. That's going to be September 16th at 9 a.m. We're also taking our show on the road to the city of Port St. Lucie. That's going to be September 22nd, and a night meeting at 6 p.m. We have our annual college fair, which is September 24th at the district office from 5:30 to 7:30. And we'll be publicizing that to our families. I'm also really excited about our Classrooms to Careers program, and we have the Economic Development Council luncheon here in this building on October 7th, and we'll have hundreds of business leaders, and we'll be talking about our partnership and ways they can get involved in hiring our high school graduates to enter the workforce directly as soon as they walk off their campuses after graduation and enter high-paying, high-functioning jobs right here in St. Lucie County. So with that being said, I appreciate the board's support. I always appreciate all of you attend most of our events, but I just really appreciate the partnership with the board. And going back to some of our speakers, we do value our employees, and we're so grateful. We understand that the funding, especially with a lot of the dollars are earmarked to our teachers, but we do value everybody in the system because we know that it is truly a team effort to earn that A rating, and it takes the bus drivers, the food service, the clerks, the paraprofessionals. Everybody in the system plays a role because everybody in the system loves children, and they build those relationships. And that I always say I want school to be the best part of every child's day, and that takes everybody. It doesn't just take one person, it takes everybody. So I want to thank the folks that spoke tonight that represent our union partners, because we do appreciate you. That concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Prince. Attorney Scott Cole, do you have any report?
No report.
Okay, no report. We do have some action. We have one action item up before the board members give their reports. I want to describe what this action item is. The proposed 2026 legislative program of the Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards is the result of a consortium meeting in Pinellas County on August the 28th through the 29th, 2025. Priority issues include governance, funding, capital outlay, facilities, academics and accountability, and operations. Under consortium bylaws, if any board member rejects to an issue, that issue is automatically removed from the program. No item may be amended, but must be accepted or rejected, board members. GFC SB is requesting that members expedite action on the 2026 legislative program so that it can be moved ahead in seeking support for the issues it contains. So, board member, at this time, we will vote on this. I need to have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Mr. Ingersoll, motion. Ms. Harley, second. Any discussion, board members, on this item? Seeing that there is none, let's call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Vote has been accepted unanimously, 5-0. Board members, at this time, we're going to give our reports. We will start with Ms. Jennifer and work our way right on down the line.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, I would like to say good evening to the A-team.
which comprises everyone who affects our students' lives, beginning with our parents. As I've been reflecting on this month, some remarkable things have been happening in our schools, and I'm excited, very excited to share those with you. You know, sometimes I sit here and I'm just hurrying through what I'm going to say for various reasons. But tonight, I'm going to slow it down. I want to make sure you understand how much you are appreciated. I see you, I hear you, and I'm listening. Know that advocacy work is happening, even in ways you might not see. You are important. You are not just a number or an educator. You are the driving force that makes teaching and learning possible. Tonight, I'm taking my time to honor you. My highlights start with the Tunnel of Hope events. There is so much to be said about each one, as they are very different, or as different as could be, and truly reflects the leadership and culture of each school. Honestly, I think the adults had even more fun than the kids. The turnout was amazing. I want to thank our first responders, the St. Lucie County Fire District, the Fort Pierce Police, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, and the Port St. Lucie Police Department for their support. Thank you for how you serve, protect, and support our students in St. Lucie County. I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to the K-9 deputy who visited with her human colleague at Weatherby Elementary. What a perfect way to welcome students back to school. I participated in Samuel Gaines' Tunnel of Hope, and you could feel the energy and the excitement on the campus. As I was standing beside one of the teachers, we struck up a conversation about how she became a teacher at Samuel Gaines. She had nothing but the highest praise for Principal Davis and the educators at Samuel Gaines Academy. What struck me most was when she said she had found her home at Samuel Gaines. When an educator feels that sense of belonging, that's leadership in action. This is a powerful statement, or testament, to the leadership of Principal Davis, Assistant Principal Saget, and Assistant Principal West. Adding to the excitement was an amazing STEM teacher / DJ. His name is Mr. Hanson. He had an exceptional playlist. One song got my attention. The song was called Champion by Carrie Underwood. Does anybody know who she is? That was not a quick trick question. To be fair, I'm not much up on current music or talent, but the words of this song caught my attention. It went something like, I am a fighter like Rocky. Does that name ring a bell? Rocky? The song said, I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You gotta know my name. What name is that? The name is St. Lucie County School District, the destination district. It is a destination district. Thank you, Mr. Hanson. This was the first time I was hearing this song, but it painted the perfect picture of what the district represents. If you can see it, if you believe it, you can achieve it, whatever that it is for you. Congratulations, Principal Davis. I know you're not here, but congratulations on the school's consecutive A grade, and thank you for the outstanding leadership you bring to our district. Another memorable conversation was with Principal Lamb at Southport Middle, who shared the school's theme for the year, which is Defying Gravity. I left the school thinking about how powerful the theme is. I thought about the school overcoming limitations, achieving the seemingly impossible, transcending circumstances, and breaking barriers. That's what champions do. I took it one step further. This is what a champion district does, and this is my expectation. What really impressed me during my visit to Southport Middle was my conversation with the teachers who worked with our most vulnerable students, the children who need that extra one-on-one attention, additional care, and endless patience. Without exception, these educators told me they love what they do. I'm certain some days test them more than others. Maybe every day brings its challenges, but they rise to meet each one with genuine passion for their students. Here is what made these conversations even more meaningful. These teachers were clueless in Port St. Lucie as to who they were talking to. They had no idea they were speaking to a board member. My name did not ring one single bell. They were speaking from their heart about their experiences. To Principal Lamb and the entire Southport Middle team, keep defying gravity. The sky truly is the limit. Before I close, I want to acknowledge someone who has been quietly ensuring the district's safety. I don't know if he's here, but Mr. Troy Church, the Director of Safety and Security, and his A-team. They work tirelessly to create a safe and learning environment across our district. Thank you for protecting and serving our district. Tonight, my report has been about people who refuse to accept limitations, teachers finding their home, first responders showing love, security team providing safety, and educators defying gravity every single day. You are our champions. The work you do with our students, or cafeteria workers, or bus drivers, or the administrators or receptionists, the work you do with our student creates ripples that extend far beyond what any report can capture. Thank you, A-team, for being the heart and soul of this destination district. And this ends my report.
Thank you so much, Ms. Richardson, for your report. Ms. Harrison?
I just have a few things to report on. I want to thank the community. We came out in record numbers at the Mets game that the Chamber held with the Children's Services Council. We collected so many school supplies that the Chamber was not capable of handling it. So we turned them over to the school board. Actually, they were teacher supplies is what we asked for the very first time this year. Thank you to Terrence and his team for coming and palletizing all those teacher supplies and promising me they'll get to the hands of teachers in St. Lucie Public Schools. We appreciate it. But it was a record number of attendees at that ball game, which is amazing. I also want to say that Young Floridian is kicking off again. So thanks to the school board, that is a scholarship program eligible for St. Lucie County high school seniors and private schools as well, actually. But we are kicking that off, and it's the coordinators in the schools that make that so successful. I also want to say that right now the Chamber is really working very diligently on the subject of impact fees, which is highly impacting the cost of living in St. Lucie County, especially essential worker and affordable housing. And that is what I spend the majority of my days on, and I want everybody to be mindful of that, because that is what is rising, keeping the cost of living very, very high in St. Lucie County. And so there are things going on every day at the chamber and in my life that I think are affecting all of us, and I hope and pray that we're all working together on these issues.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Ms. Hawley?
Yes, Dr. Mills, thank you. I just wanted to thank the board members for supporting the Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards legislative packet as presented tonight. We spent an extensive amount of time over those 2 days working on the very issues that you all have brought up tonight, that all of us are advocating for every day on a basis within the state of Florida. So I appreciate your support on that platform and pledge to you to continue to carry it forward for all the priorities, because they are priorities for each and every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hawley.
No report.
Okay. I just have not much of a report, but to say, first of all, we hear you. We hear your concerns, CWA, we hear your concerns, CTA, and we are advocating earnestly with Tallahassee to do better with our funding. It's very hard for us right now in the district, and it's just, this is not a good time for any of us, but we do hear you, and we are advocating for more funding for this district, and my heart does break when I hear and I know myself what people go through who only make $15 an hour. But we have to, we as a community, we have to fight back in Tallahassee. We've got to make those calls to the Department of Education and their legislation and what they are doing here in the state of Florida that is causing so much suffering, really. So let's do that. Let's all make those phone calls. Those of us that can go to Tallahassee are doing certain times. We have to fight back on the state of Florida level, and that's what this consortium is about. And other advocates, we work on the state level to try to make things better for the state of Florida and for our children and for our people here in St. Lucie County. And I also want to thank the group that seems to come out so faithfully to the school board meetings. We appreciate your concern. And I know that this group here, because you're showing the action out in the community, that you will fight with us on the state level. And so we appreciate you coming together and coming to our board meetings. And with that being said, we do have a scheduled speaker, Ms. Chrissy Thanos, which we do hear from most months. And I'll let her come forward, give her full name, and also you have 5 minutes because you're a scheduled speaker tonight, and to speak on your topic this evening.
Yeah, that's why I signed up for schedules, because sometimes I go over 3 minutes and I have to talk too fast.
Yes, ma'am.
So my name is Chrissy Thanis, and I live at 133 Northwest Magnolia Lakes Boulevard. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, superintendent, teachers, staff, and fellow residents. I stand here tonight with a message of support, unity, and resolve. Our staff and students need to know that their school board is firmly behind them, especially now when decisions made in Tallahassee are making their jobs and their lives harder every single day. Let's be clear, our teachers and support staff cannot give their best when they are worried about money, health care, or whether politics will strip away their ability to teach the truth. Those worries weigh heavy, and when Tallahassee adds more burdens, our children are the ones who suffer. This school board has a duty to remove those barriers and to stand strong for the people who make our schools work. Our children deserve classrooms guided by facts, science, and not politics. They deserve the truth about history, about health, about the environment, about the world they will inherit. Yet Tallahassee continues to pass laws and policies that silence truth, undermine science, and treat education like a political game. That is not leadership. That is not what is best for Florida's children. And while state officials may think they know best, it is here at the local level where real education happens. It is our teachers, bus drivers, aides, principals shape our students' lives, not politicians in Tallahassee. That's why this board must send a clear signal. We are united with our staff and families, and we will do everything within our power to protect them. Take health, for example. Tallahassee may block vaccines requirements, but nothing stops this board from recommending that families follow the medical advice of their trusted pediatricians and doctors. That's not politics, that's caring for our community. We cannot ignore that many of our students and staff go home to loved ones with compromised health. Their safety depends on us putting health and science above politics. I grew up hearing my father speak about truth and fairness, and I carry those lessons with me now. When leaders stand up for what is right, people remember. And right now, our community needs to remember that their school board is not afraid to push back against Tallahassee when Tallahassee forgets who they are supposed to serve. So tonight, I ask this board to be bold, to say to our staff, we have your back, to say to our families, we will protect your children's rights to learn the truth, and to say to Tallahassee, we will not sacrifice our students' future for your politics. Because united, rooted in facts and science, and driven by love for our children, this community will always be stronger than the politics that try to divide us. We must stay united, keep supporting one another, and stay grounded in truth. There is nothing Tallahassee can do to take away our strength as a community, because together as one team, we will give our children the future they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thaddeus. Yeah, let's continue to stand united and make sure that we as a community stay strong. All right, there are no unscheduled speakers tonight, so at this point in time, I bid you all farewell and enjoy your evening, and we are adjourned.